Throughout this training series and also in After Effects CS4 Essential Training on lynda.com, we've kind of danced around the issue of expressions. So here in this chapter, we're essentially going to have a real official bona fide intro to expressions. Now we know that expressions are basically a programming language inside of After Effects. But in this chapter, I'm going to be speaking to you as if you had no programming experience whatsoever. Now again, the way that we make an expression is by option clicking or alt clicking on a PC a stopwatch for a given property. Now in this field, in the timeline panel, where the frames are and the current time indicator usually is, this is where we type our expression. Now one of the great aha moments that you'll have with expressions is realizing that expressions are really just arriving at a number. We're essentially just using expressions, the programming language, however complicated, however simple it is. Most of the time with expressions, almost always, we're just trying to get a value to fill in this property. So I might get that by typing the wiggle expression, which we'll look at later in this chapter, and that will generate a number. Now I could also just click in here and type a number. I could just type 40. And then the rotation value is controlled by the expression. You can tell it's controlled by the expression because it's red. Red means that this value is getting its data from the expression. Now, as much as I want to click and drag and scrub this value, as soon as I let go, see it's at 183 positive degrees, boom, back to 40 because it's getting its data from this value. Now, I could also use simple math here. I could type in 40 divided by 5. And then I could either click outside of this area, and maybe one of these areas out here, to accept the expression, or I could hit enter on the numeric keypad, not the regular return or enter, which is like a carriage return and it knocks you down a level like that. We don't want that. So we hit enter on the numeric keypad to accept the expression. And as you can see, we see 40 divided by 5 here in the expression. And as you can see, the answer is 8 here. And that is the value of rotation for this property. So for those of you that are new to expressions and programming, don't think of it as all this code, all this math. It's really not that. It's just a way for us to have a more sophisticated generator of the values for properties. Now, a couple of things to be aware of. We know about this pick whip that we can click and drag to another value. Also be aware that this equals sign enables the expression, or if we click it again, we'll get a slash through it and we'll disable the expression. So remember earlier in this movie when I dragged this out to 183 degrees, it remembered that, but it was overridden by the expression. If we click the disable button, then it allows us to use the value that was normally there without the expression. To re-enable the expression, simply click it again. Now, let's go ahead and get into this chapter. And as we do so, I think you'll find that expressions are awesome. They're exciting, they are not intimidating, and there's a lot of power here. There's also a lot in the way of flexibility. If I wanted to wiggle this, for example, and create random values, imagine keyframing random values for every single frame of an entire composition. And then let's say that you'd like those random keyframes to be more intense or less intense. With the wiggle expression, you just change a value. But with keyframes, you have to go in and change every single keyframe. The benefits of using expressions as an animator in After Effects are absolutely overwhelming. So let's get started.